Yeah, so I mean, I feel like the gentleness of it was the most surprising for me, because when I have done other cleanses, not with juice cleanses, but other cleanses that are more like colon cleansing, and I did the one cleanse that was what I did. Um, it's always been a bit aggressive for some reason. There's always been a lot of cramping, a lot of issues with that, feeling like there's something that's being forced out of the body. And that's one of the things. I mean, I'm a colon hydrotherapist. I've been a colon hydrotherapist for like 10 years. So, and I use gravity colonics, which is very gentle on the body. So I personally dislike and know the damage that can happen with anything that is aggressive with the colon. So I wanted to, for me, it was like definitely a thing of wanting to try to see like how this would work for me, because I definitely would never recommend anything that I didn't do myself. And it was just very gentle, very soft. I felt I felt it moving through me. I'm very sensitive with these things. So it was I mean, during the moment, like when stuff would come out, it was just like, oh look, there's this thing that's like moving through my descending colon. And like I felt a ball just kind of dropping, you know. And it felt like something that was being um I don't know, like gathering and then dropping in a very gentle way. So it was very surprising that there was no drama with the releases. It was just go to the toilet, sit, and do it. I also feel like my colon and my digestive system is very good compared to other people. So I don't know how others experiences with this, but for me, it was like, wow, how easy this is. It's just like I'm just pooping like a normal poop, except that it's a huge ass rope that's coming out of me. you know, there was no yeah, there was, I mean, I did have a tiny little bit of cramping, like a tiny, tiny little bit of cramping, but it was like so soft that I was just like, for me, it didn't even count, to be honest. It was, yeah, I think the gentleness of it was the thing that just surprised me the most, because I didn't think that that was even possible to release that much, but also to do it in such a soft, easy way. I had 3 colonics before I did the cleanse to kind of prepare. And then I did 2 colonics after the first cleanse. I didn't do any after the second. Um, I don't know. I don't know if there was, my body felt probably that that was enough release for me, because I did two one cleanses in a row. And in the first one, a lot came out, but in the second one, nothing really came out, you know? So I think my body was just like, I think that's enough for now. So I was like, okay, no problem. Hey, I'm definitely of the belief and philosophy when it comes to colon cleansing that the body gets to decide what releases. I've seen it like with people that come for a colonic, you could be really stuck with things, but if the body says we need to focus on the gas, then that's what we need to focus on, we don't really get a say. The body knows what needs to be prioritized and whether we have enough energy to release what we need to release. So yeah, I mean, healing happens by priority basis anyways. Like I know this, and I've seen it. With colonics, it's very different. It's very interesting because if you are doing colonics, then you're taking a lot of the energy that the body would spend on cleansing all this stuff, and using it for something else. So that's why it can definitely help to speed up your healing. And I can see with something like this, it would be exactly the same, because I mean, I can only imagine how many colonics it would take me, because I have done a lot of colonics and I've never released this much. Never, ever released something as big. I mean, I definitely did. I definitely released the length of my colon in mucoid plaque. No joke. Like, it was rope after rope after rope. I had 2 poops that were semi-regular. They were not regular, but I was like, oh, you know, whatever. And then I dropped my first rope, which was about this big. Then I dropped, I think, 2 more ropes. The second one was like this big. And then, yeah, no, it was like, I was squatting on top of the toilet and it was hanging from my ass and reaching the bottom. So it was definitely at least this big, you know? And then I had one last one was just like, I think like 1.5 feet or something like that. And then I did the 2 colonics after, and in each of them I had releases of mucoid plaque as well. So, like at least the length of my colon, which it should be about 5 feet or a little bit less because I'm very short. Yeah. And I wasn't shocked because I see the kind of shit that's inside of people, right? All the time. But I think the thing that like makes me really believe in this is how it can really do the work of many colonics in one day, and then you can use the colonics after to really speed things up. So that's one of the reasons why I feel like I really believe in it, because you can really speed things up with this when it comes to health. And I mean, I know the amount of colonics that it would have taken me to release this thing. And I have done many colonics throughout my 14 years of doing colonics, and I've never released that. That was there for God knows how long, since I was like a child, probably. So I just, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer to do this so that you can release the really, really sticky stuff, and then you can use colonics for continued healing and upkeep. But you just cannot go as deep with colonics unless you're doing crazy fasting and things like this. And I just don't feel like everybody has, and no, not everybody should be doing that amount of cleansing in that way. It's not healthy for everybody to do that. That's also where I'm sure the rest of the products will come in and benefit. I'm not super familiar with the rest of them because I haven't had an opportunity to use them. I did get my brother to do a bunch of them in the States, and his wife, and he's done very well with them. He did like Alex's cleanse. I just got it for him. I was just like, you need to do this, because he was dealing with a lot of issues, and he's maintained his his weight and all of that after. And he wants to do another one coming up in September, so next month. So I'm very excited for him.
Thought the intestinal cleanse was equivalent to doing 9 colonics in a day. As somebody who's a like colon hydrotherapist, would you say that's accurate? Is that like an overestimation? More?
It would take more. And I do gravity colonics. So gravity colonics are the deepest and the less forceful. They're very gentle. But the reason why I think it's more is because you have to have your body be willing to release the stuff that has been there for a really long time. You have to have a very, very, very open body that doesn't hold on to these things. I felt that the enzymes came in to unstick all this stuff that has been there for a really long time. Afterwards, I felt like I was missing an organ or something, like this weight that had been there for a really long time, which turned out to be, I think, about a kilo at least, because I mean, I weigh myself before and after, like of actual, heavy weight. And it must have been more than that, but my body probably readjusted afterwards, because that always happens after colon cleansing. I felt like there was really a weight that I was used to being there that wasn't there anymore. And I don't see 10 colonics being able to do that. No way. It has to be way, way, way more than that. And you have to also be fasting, like doing very intense fasting and all of that at the same time, which I just don't see a lot of people wanting to do. I do have a client. I had 2 clients that set up their own colonic systems at home. Like I help them set up, like I sell everything so that they can do that in their own homes, because they're going through very deep healing things. And I'm like, okay, you're gonna really go broke like by working with me like 3 times a week, so set up in your own home. And I have had they do 100-day cleanses and things like this. And then, yes, they release the mucoid plaque and all of that. They release like mucus up the wazoo, like even out of their ears, they release out of the vagina. It's just like, I mean, I know how clean I eat and how much I've cleansed and all of that. I've been cleansing for 14 years. I have done countless colonics in that time. And even with all of that, I still had this amount of stuff inside me. So I can account for myself because I know what I have done and what I haven't done. And I can account for the myriads of clients that I see here and the kind of shit that's inside of them, And then I also see people like those clients that go through extensive fasts and do a lot of colonics at the same time, and the amount of shit that's still coming out of them, after years of still doing this. This one girl, she's in a almost 2-year process of doing colonics a lot and doing all these really long fasts, and I still see it. I see the amount of stuff that's coming out of these people. If these people that have been doing all of this still have a lot to release, I can only imagine the rest of us. So yeah, there's a lot of accumulated waste everywhere in our body, including every single cell. So it takes a while. What I really love about these products is how I feel it speeds up the process like considerably. It's really crazy. It's really, really crazy. So there's, I think, 3 main shifts. The first one was my taste buds. I'm really repulsed by strong flavors, like very, very, very strong flavors. So I live in Thailand. I eat papaya salad once in a while. And I usually would put 1 chili inside. And the 1 chili was making me cry. Like I was just like burning, And I was just like, wow, I can't even handle this anymore. And now I really feel like I do put chili in some stuff because it does change the taste, and it has a positive thing with it. But it's really difficult for me to handle it. So I do definitely I put a lot less in everything. The same thing with sugar. I don't usually have sugar, but I did want to have vegan ice cream just recently, and I was just repulsed by it. It was so disgusting. I was just like, I'm never having this again. I'm like, I'm making my own ice cream at home, okay? Like, I can't deal with it. I generally, the amount of salt and sugar that's in my diet is extremely minimal. So having any of that stuff is like, ugh, too much. The bloating has been a lot less since the cleanse. Yeah, I feel like I don't feel the amount of pressure that I was feeling before. So I feel like that really did help a lot. And what was the last thing? I had it very clearly. I mean, I did notice my pooping did change a bit, but I don't necessarily feel like that was for the better. I feel like my body has been adjusting since the cleanse. I just can't really stomach or want to stomach the foods that I'm not making myself. And it's a little difficult because I can just, it's almost, I don't even know how to explain it. It's almost like a background mechanism or software that's working within me that's telling me, don't do it. And then I don't know, it's like, but the desire is not there, because even if I had something like that and I wanted to go, I would just do it. But I don't have the desire to eat out. Even the places that I find to be like the most, like the few ones that I would still go to, I'm like, ooh, I prefer to eat at home. So I'm definitely building my life a little bit more so that I'm doing more of these things, like eating in my own home, where I can control, especially oils and things like this, because like I think the rest of it is okay, like because I'm always eating at cleaner places anyways in terms of ingredients, but I can't really control the oil that they're using and the amount of salt that they use and things like this, or if they put sugar or not. Like sometimes, like Thai cooking especially, like they'll just always put sugar on everything. So I do end up making modifications when I go out to make sure that I'm, they're not putting some of these ingredients, but at the same time, I'm just not really desiring them. So I'm using it for emergencies, but not for my everyday. My everyday living is happening at home, and I want to eat at home. So I feel like that one has probably been the biggest thing that I've noticed, that just desire not being there. Like when I think about, ooh, I could go here or I could go here, and I'm just like, nah, I really don't want to. Yes. I mean, I think definitely when I was having the papaya salad, that I was just like, there's something really different about this. The same with the ice cream, that I was just like, I cannot do this like anymore, not that, I mean, honestly, it had been like months and months that I had ice cream like that, but I usually, if I want ice cream, I just make banana with something, you know, or whatever. But yeah, just knowing that, like, I really don't want to, like, there's no real pleasure in doing that to myself, because on the one hand, it's like horrible for you. And on the other hand is the simple fact that you just not really enjoying it anymore. And that's also a big aha. And yeah, like the lack of desire hit me a bit after. It wasn't right away, but just seeing how I was just like, no, I really don't want to go to this place for lunch, or no, I really, you know, I think immediately after I was still eating out a good portion of my food, and just getting pushback from myself saying, I really don't want to go there. I really don't want to eat that. And then noticing like, oh, wow, I really want to get back into cooking and get back into like having some sort of system, so that I'm not spending all day in the kitchen. But at the same time, I do have like a lot cleaner foods, which I have my moments. I go in and out of wanting to cook, you know, so it's not like a constant thing. But right now I feel like I have a base of things that I could do that is a lot easier, and a system that's a lot easier to follow. So, and it's not even about all this stuff, it's about the desire. Like I have the desire more to do it. I have the desire more to do it.
And actually absorbs. That's a huge part, is that I actually feel like I absorb the food and the nutrients that I'm eating. And for me, I was a ballet dancer for about 18 years and ate a lot of food to punish my body and not to nourish it. And this has really taught me and shown me, because the cleanses are a huge act of self-love. You're giving yourself something that you need to just surrender and release and feel whatever your body needs to feel, and whatever is going to come afterwards is going to be just how you need it. And that's been a huge process for me to accept that and know that I can't control the outcome. And like you were saying at the beginning, like you cannot force what comes out. And sometimes I've had not as great of releases because I've been holding on so much more. And I think that's powerful.
I noticed that with clients. So when I get the biggest releases are in bodies that are very open. So even if their diet is not the best, but their body is open, you can release a lot. And I have noticed that from the beginning. From the beginning of me working here in Copacabana, New York, everybody's tight-assed and I was working in New York before. So in New York City, it's like really strange. Just how people are very stressed out and in their bodies it shows, you know. Over here is a little bit different, but you can still notice the difference between people that are holding, that are not wanting to let go, and people that are wanting to let go. The difference in the colonics is huge. So I also, yeah, like coming from the angle of the body will prioritize, but also coming from the angle is like, how much are you holding on, you know? It's super important.
Like what do you do to create a better self and like a better world through what you do and the things that you are just like your profession and things like that? I'm just super curious.
I mean, I'm constantly working as a way to bring more healing to the world. Like that's my mission. That's my goal. For me, colonics was like a big part of that. I really hope that ZenCleanz can become a big part of that as well. And I just did 2 trainings as well with vagus nerve and lymphatics to teach people how to take care of themselves in that direction as well. Because for me, it's all related. If you don't have a calm nervous system, nothing can heal. If you're blocked in your lymphatic system, nothing can filter. Like your body cannot filter, your body cannot release the toxins. If everything is stuck in the colon, nothing can move out, and things cannot move out in the amount that it needs to. And the same thing goes with ZenCleanz. For me, all of these four things go together, and they are the foundation of health. Like without these four things, like, I mean, you can't even move, you can't go anywhere. I love the fact that the moment that you start clearing out the colon and clearing out, like opening up the body and relaxing the body so that the body can heal and not be in this fight or flight mode that is super stressful and most people are in. I really do feel that things start moving better, like everything starts falling into place. The stress that the organs would be under before that can start lowering as well. Like I have in part of the lymphatics and the vagus nerve training also goes into big parts into the organs as well. So, I mean, yeah, like for me in terms of just myself, like I'm very interested in continuing to continue to improve. Like I've been at it for 14 years now, and I see myself going in one direction. There's only one way to go anyways. Like I may take a few detours here and there, but for the most part, I'm very committed to aging well, of being healthy until I die, hopefully, you know. And I see ZenCleanz being a part of that. I see colonics being a part of that. I see lymphatics and vagus nerve being a part of that. And that's why I did these trainings and have committed so much of my energy and my time to do this, because I know that if you have these four pieces there, then everything else can work. But if you don't, then nothing will work and everything will be harder. So might as well get it right, you know?